Hi, it's Devin. Today we are going to remake Noita, but in 3D. Sounds crazy, huh? I've never actually seen anyone do this type of challenge. Unfortunately, we will not be implementing all of Noita's mechanics in this video, like destructible environments, randomized wands, spells, etc. We will focus on that in another video. The first thing I did to get Noita 3D good looking is make a wand in Magica Voxel. It's a really good software. I really recommend to use voxel based models instead of block image because it's not too performant heavy and you can make fossil based models really easy. After I created the wand and implemented into Unity, yes, we are using Unity so I can have an easier way to make mechanics because C# is a coding language I am most comfortable with. Anyways, I then went to Unity package installer and downloaded a mini first person package, which is a great Unity package. It's really good. I implemented the first person controller into the scene. I didn't grab the wand and put a child of the camera. So this is what we have so far. Let's add a bit of weapon sway. Most of the scripts that I make come from other games that I'm currently working on, mostly from a game called Journey to the Space Corps, a mobile game coming to Google Play Store, made by me. I started to work on the shooting/projectile system, which was very easy to implement with my method, which is low-key a cheat. The method that I use to calculate the damage/slash collision of the projectile, I use the Unity particle system. You already know that the particle system can do a lot according to this guy, Danny. Anyway, I implemented collusion on effects, and now we have the wand shooting something, which is really nice. I created an enemy capsule and placeholder particle damage variable that comes from the game manager so we can modify the damage anywhere. Now all we have to do is add animations and spice it up a bit. Oh, and also just for giggles, I added beard, modeled it and implemented it to the game. I then started to work on textures. Noita's textures are pretty straightforward, adding grass and rock textures that I made in ASE Sprite that I compiled myself. You can get ASE Sprite on Steam, by the way, for about like 20 bucks. Then I started to add trails to the projectiles. At this point, we should be getting to making enemies for the game, like this guy, the Horta, and the next guy, which is his cousin. I don't know how to pronounce this guy. But first, we need the most important person in Noita, Mena, the wizard. So I made him in Magical Voxel. His model actually came out better than I thought. First attempt wasn't all the way there, but after some careful math and block placement, his model came out good looking. I was also thinking about adding the amulet from Noita, something you have to achieve if you beat certain challenges. So I just saved that for another time. Alright, back on track. I then implemented implemented the model into the game. I also created and implemented models of the enemies. Also creating a model for the hand in the first person view. I then started to work on animation, which came out better than I thought. I added a script to the wand and used that to change the animation based on bulls. Like anim that said bull is moving, and also did anim that said bull is shooting to determine when the player is shooting, which then it will play a following animation to add a little kickback to the wand like in Noita. It's pretty dope. So how would I get the 3D animation done when it comes to it? Well, I already have a rough idea, but just making another model from the first model I created, then making poses of that model, turning it into an animation in Unity using the keyframe system or whatever you call it. I then imported the wizard model into the scene and also adding the iconic cape. I got something in mind for that part of the model. I think it will really like. I fixed the wand up by making it only shoot when the player clicks the dedicated mouse button, so it won't just fire on its own. I did that by just enabling and re-enabling the particle system of the wand, so it won't be as much laggy as destroying, and probably also pulls. Really depends on what you're making. But for some odd reason, the shooting wasn't working properly, so I just started working on textures and decided to get back to that towards the end of the video. Alright, I started to work on the skybox and textures. It came out looking awesome. I then also took the time to fix any bugs, specifically the fire bug, the shooting bug, which I did fix. With a rough version where the particle system still shoots, but you can shoot even more when you press the mouse button. I fixed it earlier, so it shoots whenever you press the mouse button, and also fixing up the lighting so it will not look so bright anymore. Speaking of lighting, I also added a new skybox. It's just a placeholder at the moment. As next video, I am going to add procedural voxel cloud system based on a particle system. I would use Unity shaders system, but I don't really know anything about that. I have dabbled in that territory, but never fully made anything from it. Currently, the wand only shoots out gold balls, which is also a placeholder, but it is pretty cool, and the projectiles will shape up as development go. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I am currently working on the next video as we speak. I am going to add procedural voxel terrain, procedural clouds, enemy AI, and much more. Also, I really want to know what you guys want to see be added, so I can be sure to include it in the next video. Alright, stay tuned.